just saw me cut our neck blank on the bandsaw over there. And what I did was I cut it at a diagonal line here and then clean up the cut surfaces in order to create the headstock angle. And we do that with a simple magic trick. We just flip one of the two pieces around and glue them like that. And there we have our headstock angle. And you can see on the drawing over here, this is pretty much the side view of the headstock, and that's what we're trying to achieve here. And this is the glue line in the end. Just a little bit more fine-tuning left to do, and then we can glue it together. And just like with any good cooking show, I've already prepared something here, just because I'm building multiple of these. And this is just the same pieces, same technique, glued together, and I have some dowels in here for locating pins. So you see this is like the result. And this is our neck blank now. Here's the neck blank. We just prepared the surface and planed it flat. The next step is to cut the groove for the truss rod channel. We'll sit like this in here. Well, actually the opposite way, like this. And the truss rod itself is one of the dual action types. That means when I go in there with adjustment tool here and just turn it, you will see the whole thing bend slightly in either direction. I can literally like bend the neck towards the strings or away from the strings. It's just a little bit more versatility when it comes to setup later on. And in order to put it here, I will need to route a channel. I already started work on the fretboard because this is the next part we will need to glue on the neck. And what you can see here is pretty much at this point just a piece of beechwood that I planed to thickness. And I already started marking out and pre-cutting the fret slots. They will be cut to final depth later on. For now, this is pretty much just to mark the positions. And there are just a few left up here I will do now. And I will start with a super fine saw just to mark the position, and then go after it with like the final saw that gives me the correct size. The fretboard position dots are drilled now, as you can see here, like just on fingerboard. And the dots are made as well. They look super rough now, but they will look nice soon. And this material here is this kind of stuff. If you look closely, this is the same kind of phenolic resin fabric stuff that we used to make the bobbins for the pickup. And I think it will look pretty cool. So let's glue them in, right? The radius is sanded into the fretboard now. And if you look closely, you can see that we partly sanded away the fret slots, but that's not a problem. I anticipated that, and that's why I just mentioned those are basically markers to recut them later. But yeah, we're at my 12-inch radius I wanted, and right now I can mark the shape. We can cut it and then redo the fret slots, and then we'll be ready to glue on the neck. I start by re-establishing the center line. It's always the most important part, and unfortunately we just sanded it away. So I will just mark center on both ends. Like that. Next thing we need is the width on the nut we want. Which is these two lines. Next we will need the length. And this is the fretboard roughly cut. Next step is recutting the slots and then planing the edges nice. Yeah, so this is like the slot cut to final depth, and with this little piece of fret wire here I just check that very deep enough, and this looks good. Only 20 more to go. And that's the last slot. Now they're all cut to final depth, so we can take off the fretboard like that. And the next step is to trim it down the edges to final size to those pencil lines here. I'll just put it in a vise. Very carefully plane it